come back down to here, unhide everything that needs to be unhidden. And then we've got that. Looking at this and I'm noticing some stuff, so we just go back to the move tool. We turn on our deformer. We do another subdivision this way maybe. There. Okay. Back to here, accept, and you're good. Okay. So now we have that. So what we're going to do at this point is do some outlining on some of our stuff here. So to do that, I'm going to put some trim. Oh, you know what? We can probably do all of them at the end. Let's come here and do our crest thing. So I'm going to take a look at this. We could probably also come to here, go to geometry, go crease polygroup, and then divide, just to get something so it looks a little bit nicer when we're working on it. We'll put some ribbing around that in a few. Okay, we'll come back to here. I'm going to go solo for this one. And then I'm going to say, go to my selection tool, I'm going to grab rectangle, just kind of go as far and see where it is. That worked pretty good. I'm going to cut it off back. I'm going to cut it off. Oops, back, oops. Back there somewhere. Okay. And then we're going to go, are we on mirror? Still no, we are. And we're going to take this, and we're going to take our tool, and we're going to say mask pen. Oops. Just like that. I'm going to pull it down further this time. And sometimes it's easier to go from the middle if you start at that point. There. Looks pretty good. Okay, so this time, instead of doing the extrude or the, what do they call it? Extract, we're going to do something different. We're going to take this, we're going to go to our modify. First thing we need to do though is change our smooth or polygroups, because if we look at it, they've got polygroups all set up here, but what we want is Control W, so that's a new polygroup right there. Okay, so now we've got a polygroup, and we're going to Control Shift W and grab this, so we just have this polygroup. And I forgot that I did that last time too. So in this case, we need to use our brush, make sure that our back face mesh mask is on, and then just go in here and get, goodness fingers, get rid of all this stuff. Just here. Okay, so now it's just on the top. Beautiful. Okay, back to the polygroups, F, and then we're going to go Shift, Control I, Control I, change the polygroups. Then we're going to Control Shift and click on that polygroup, and now we have one. I'm going to come inside here and go to our geometry, and we're going to go to our edge loops. Inside our edge loops, we're going to use this. This edge loop will divide the edges that we have and make poly loops out of them. So what do I mean? Well, let's look at this right now. This is pretty jaggy. If I push this group loops and I leave it at 4, now look at that edge. It's perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to come down here and do it again. Control Shift and grab this one. And then I'm going to say poly loops again, but this time I'm going to say panel loops. And I'm going to click on that. And I did something wrong. Hold on. I need to make sure I say append, because it'll add geometry instead of cutting it out. So I say append, and now I've got this piece. Now the question is this piece thick enough? Yeah, let's make it a little thicker. Let's go to 0.05. Do panel loops again. Let's say F. That's not bad. Okay, so we're going to take that. And now it's still part of the same geometry, so we're going to have to make sure we break it apart. So we'll have to do, say, split and split unmasked pieces. And now we have an unmasked piece. That's its own piece. And we can turn it off solo, and we can start to see that we're getting our stuff in here. Okay. So now we have this, and we can probably move it down a little bit. So it's clipping there. All right. And then we can come in here and we'll do another one. How are we going to do the next one? Well, let's take a look at this right here. Let's go to F. Let's just do, I'm going to look at the picture again here. It kind of does a more of a taper, but that's fine. We're going to do Control and just select this much. So that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to come here. I'm going to go from this side this time and go. I want to make it thin. Oops. I want to make it thin. Let me make sure, yeah. So because I want to make it thin, and let me go back to solo mode here. Because I want to make it thin, that means I just have to get close to the center because it's going to mirror it. And that's pretty thin, but it's not perfect. This is, I wish that when you selected things with this mode, it would do backface, but it doesn't. So anyway, we'll do that in a second. I'm going to go even thinner. So I want that brim to really pop through. And now I got to come back down here. Control. Let's move to tool. Oops. Okay, so look at this. I'm probably going to pull this back a little bit more. That much. Okay, let me see what that looks like with the helmet on. Look at it from the side. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one is the same thing, or we could do an extract, I guess. But again, I think it's pretty straight, so it's not horrible. We could probably just do an extract. Let's just do an extract. Heck, we're here. And we'll make this thicker than 2. We'll go to 0.1 and see how thick that gets. Bam. There we go. Let's see. Bam. It's a nice start. I'm going to say... Actually, that's still too thick. So we're going to come in here, Control Alt, and shave some of this off. There. And we're going to change this to 0.25. It's pretty good. Let's just do 0.2. Okay, so now I've got that. So the trick in this next part is how do we do what we want to do. And I want to give it a little shelf right here because the actual art seems to have that kind of thing going on. If I go back to my Photoshop, you can see there's a shelf right through there, and then there's a thick part. We'll get back to that in a second. So I'm going to do this shelf, and easier than trying to get it off of here, though it's not horrible to do now that they're all separate colors. I can just do Control Shift and click and get this. On. Oh yeah, look at that extra piece down there. Too funny. So I'm going to deselect this all in here. Make sure I only have that selected. And this is one of the reasons I use this flat, because I can really, without this on, I can see exactly what is is selected. So this time, like I said, we're just gonna do an extract. I'm gonna change it to 0.015. Let's just try that much. Oh, let's get this back to normal. You know what? 0.01 may be enough because it's twice as thick. Yeah, that's fine. Accept. I'm going to do that, and we're going to do our move tool. I'm going to go Alt and click up here, make sure it's rotated in the right way, and we're just going to scale it out. We'll go out of solo mode just to see how wide it is there.